Let's get right to the point. Is Bitcoin still potentially headed towards 10,000, or are we looking ready to plunge deep down into the crypto abyss? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing in the chart right now. We are at a critical point in this trend, my friends. What I'm seeing right now is that after breaking out of our ascending triangle pattern formation, we've seen quite a bit of volatility here above this pattern. And the question now becomes, is what we're seeing here still potentially bullish, looking to take us on a rocket ship to the 9 or even potentially 10K region? Or are we seeing a pattern here that's looking like a failed rally, a stall out, and a new bearish continuation pattern? So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and observations on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. Being said, let's begin right here on the 4-hour time frame. If you are subscribed here and you have not been living under a rock, we've ultimately broken out of a bull flag pattern here, an ascending triangle. Some have drawn this as a symmetrical triangle. Either way, we broke out bullishly from our overhead resistance. Now, after we broke out here, we did get quite a move to the upside. If we take our price range tool, we really climbed up nearly 12% to the upside without ever getting any type of resistance or retracement. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting. Since that rise, we have pulled back quite a bit, right now over 5% to the downside. But as we can all see here, this green box I have outlined is my tentative range that I'm looking for new support to be created above old resistance. And right now, if you guys are subscribed and watched my stream yesterday, I said I'm expecting a drop before a boom here, and we did get the drop just like I was expecting down into my consolidation range that I would hope to find a bounce. Now we did get the bounce, albeit it was very short-lived, and we are being met with resistance right here. Now, let's discuss what we have going on here. As I explained yesterday, we do have a tentative bull flag being created here, right? Flagpole up with sideways downward tilting consolidation. This also, my friends, in my opinion, does look like a potential falling wedge. And we did kind of get this breakout of the falling wedge here now, and we are back testing the downward sloping resistance line right now. This leads to two scenarios here. One, if we break down and re-enter this green box, we're going to need to see a double bottom form here with volume come in and a rip back to the upside. Because if we come back down here and we lose the support of where this wick bounced off of last time and create a new lower low, I believe this could get a little worrisome here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to say that the uptrend or the bull flag here is negated at that point, as still anything holding above the prior highs here, above 8,400, is still looking bullish in my opinion. But I'm going to need to start playing this cautiously in this region, because creating a lower low here after already testing down into where I wanted to see support before a potential rip to the upside, that would not be great. What would be great here is that this becomes a new higher low, right? Where we have our lower low, our new low stuck in off our first attempt down, a failed rally up, but then our next low is higher than the previous. If this does happen, my friends, I'm still seeing this as a very bullish continuation pattern here, as we still are holding above our old resistance as new support, tested down the first time, found support where I wanted to find it inside my green box here at above 8,400. We tested up, and upon another failed rally, our next low was higher than the first. This, in my opinion, would indicate that there is indeed buy pressure at this region, and the bulls are looking to defend and push this thing higher. After this, if we are to find a higher low here, what we need to see is a higher high. Now, a higher high doesn't necessarily have to be higher than what we had here originally at about 8,900. It doesn't have to happen all that quickly. What we need to do, in my opinion, is take out this high, the high of the failed rally after our downward test. Okay, if we can get above 87.67, so say about 8,800, put in another high, we would then tentatively look to form another higher low, and then, my friends, I believe it could be off to the races, as we may be able to potentially test up higher and really continue this trend further than where it's gone thus far. Right now, it's a very interesting scenario, because you can see, sure, I just outlined the bullish case, right? But what happens if we drop below this region, ladies and gentlemen? What happens if this does not form a higher low here? What happens if we fall down? The trend could get a little bit dicey. We could be seeing that the current breakout of this ascending triangle is now failing, and it was more so of a fake out rather than a breakout. On the contrary, if this does get confirmed, we may be ready for an absolutely immense leg to the upside. You need to have a plan for both directions, right? With whatever's happening here, you cannot let it just happen and treat it like a chicken with its head cut off, right? Not understanding what to do. If you fail to plan, then your plan is to fail. I say it all the time, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my VIPs. You guys know that in VIP right now, I have been keeping you all updated here with my trades and strategies. I do have some stuff blacked out here just purely because this is VIP exclusive content, but I did want to show you guys that I do have a plan here at this region. If Bitcoin drops, I'm going to be opening more positions, according to what happens here. I'm going to be setting my stop losses, adjusting them. You need to be prepared for what happens here. And like I said, I keep you all updated in VIP with all of my trades and strategies in real time. So if you'd like that from me, I will see you in VIP right now. Shout out to all my VIPs and all my new future VIPs joining right now after this video. I will see you all in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. So the fact of the matter is here, ladies and gentlemen, is that let's hypothetically say that we do find support at this region. This, to me, is the launching pad for a potential large bull flag up into the 9 or 10K region. And if we take our flagpole here, right, let's take a flagpole. We're going to draw our line here from the top to where we broke out from. We're going to extrapolate that. We're going to drag it over right on the support line, all right? And where does this put us? It puts us, ladies and gentlemen, right to my target zone of about 9,500. I've seen the 10,000 number being thrown around a lot, but to be quite honest with you, I believe that we might see a little bit of rejection before that. There's a lot of confluence here at the lower regions, at the lower $9,500 level rather than the 10,000. Don't get me wrong, there is a bunch of confluence for a rejection at 10,000 as well, but I am seeing a lot of pressure in the historic price action at about 9,500, and we can clearly see that our bull flag extrapolation does coincide with this level to an absolute T. Absolutely epic, in my opinion, that technical analysis and measured moves can just line up so beautifully like this. It is quite interesting. But what's even more interesting here is that right now the altcoin market is still performing quite well. If we go over to the total crypto market cap, what we can see here, this is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. This is altcoins only. You guys know that once we broke through this box here, right? I used to have this box down here was red as resistance, but we broke through it and I switched it to green because I wanted to see this new area be found as new support above old resistance. And albeit we had an immense amount of volatility in here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at this wick, right? Drag it down to the bottom of the wick. This was a 24% swing in the price action of the total altcoin market cap. Savage, heinous, and a borderline ludicrous debacle, if you do in fact ask me. But this is cryptocurrency, and the reason I'm going to get into a little bit more of a strategy that I'm going to be employing once we discuss this, and this wick is the reason why. But if we just kind of forget that wick happened, right? This, my friends, is a perfect bull flag. And if you are subscribed here, I have been outlining this for us for a very long time, that I'm looking here for that flagpole up to then be extrapolated to my target zone here. That was a potential near 30% move to the upside. And what are we getting right now, ladies and gentlemen? Ding, 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 chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. We are looking to hit my exact target range right now, coming out of our classic bull flag formation. The fact of the matter is here, ladies and gentlemen, is that although everything is looking very bullish, I just want to make it very clear that I'm seeing a potential large case being built for 9,500 to be an epic resistance level for Bitcoin. And I do see that the altcoin market is coming up on a level that I see that profits may be being took. That does not mean that it has to end there. I'm just seeing a lot of confluence in this chart and in Bitcoin that we might reach a micro top soon. That doesn't mean the trend has to end. It just means that we may get a pullback before finding new support and look to rip even higher, right? But as we all know, parabola generally tends to pull back. There's nothing wrong with it. The only ones that find something wrong with it are moon boys that don't understand how to trade or how markets work, and they just want to see the chart go like this, right? But that's not how markets work, ladies and gentlemen. They can go like this for a little bit, but at some point they have to pull back, consolidate, and look for another leg. And for me right now, I am seeing signs here that we could have another leg to the upside, as I just showed you with the potential bull flag on Bitcoin and the target range with the measured move of about 9,500. And I'm also seeing here with our measured move here on the total altcoin market cap that if we do extrapolate from our breakout point, we still could have, let's use our tool here, we still could have from where we are right now, you know, roughly another 8, maybe even 10% to go before we get some type of pullback. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this does not have to occur. This is only my own personal speculation. I'll never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. I'm not your financial advisor. These are just my own opinions. But what I'm seeing right now is that we do still look like there is potential room to go to the upside. Don't forget about everything I just showed you with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin, in my opinion, is going to be the leader of the pack here. Although the altcoins are performing well, we are seeing that Bitcoin dominance has gone down just a little bit. Let's actually go over to our Bitcoin dominance chart. What we can see here is that Bitcoin dominance has began to drop off, right? And I believe that this is a case here that we're seeing right now that the market is very exuberant with where we're going. The investor sentiment, the trader sentiment is very high, right? And generally what tends to happen when that's the case is that the altcoins get very bullish because altcoins are inherently more risk on than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one of the most risky assets in the world in terms of price action. But the altcoins are even more high risk in terms of volatility. And we tend to see, you know, alt seasons or altcoin booms when investors are exuberant with the price of Bitcoin and confirmation in their minds that the market is very healthy. But as we all know, that when the market gets a little over exuberant, we do tend to see sometimes the altcoins flood back into Bitcoin. I'm still under the impression here that we may still have this bear flag to play out to the downside. This is also playing out perfectly. If you are subscribed here, I've been covering this as well. A potential bear flag down in the Bitcoin dominance to my target range of about 55, right? And right now, we look to be headed there. And if we do, in fact, play this out, it may coincide exactly here with my measured move here on the total altcoin market cap up into my region here of potentially a take profit zone for many. And also, it may happen to coincide with Bitcoin getting up into that $9,500 region before potentially getting some resistance, and the altcoin market losing its level of over exuberance, and investors looking to get back and consolidate into Bitcoin once again, right? So for me here, ladies and gentlemen, I still am seeing potential to go to the upside, and everything is hinging on the fact that this green box remains as support. Like I've stated, if we drop below here, things are going to change, and you're going to need to have a plan if it changes. I'm going to keep my VIPs updated with my plans if it changes in real time, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be getting caught like a deer in the headlights. Do not be taking that trip to Wrecked City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler. Right now, I see that we have potentially large opportunity to the upside, but if that fails, you best believe that the opportunity to the downside is going to be equally as juicy. I see it here, and I know that you should see it as well because, you are watching my screen here, right? So, right now, I see the crypto fear and greed index is still very high here with no major pullback that's happened. We may be due for one soon. The Google Trends data has gotten extremely exuberant here, as we could see on another parabolic rip. And to me, ladies and gentlemen, we still could have a little bit more room to run, as you see with the measured moves. But I'm also seeing signs that this may be the last leg before we get a little parabolic relief, right? And the parabolic relief would be great, in my opinion. It would be extremely healthy for the trend, as this would give us some confirmation. Where are we going to find support if we pull back? If we drop, where is the support being found in here? Is there support, right? Is there support? Or was there only immense buying going on because we were parabolic, right? What happens if we drop down here and we slice through again? Because there is actually no buy support here. The market needs to tell us what's going on, and we're not going to get that information until we get put in a situation to prove where the buy support is. At some point, it's going to be very healthy and beneficial to traders to get these type of back tests. It's going to give us and provide us the information that we need to continue to make educated decisions and educated hypotheses to continue to crush this market. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting incredibly aggressive. Like I've said here, I've got plans for both directions. I'm keeping my VIPs updated in absolute real time with every single trade I make, every strategy that I formulate, every plan that I have. I'm posting it for you exclusively in VIP. There is no excuse, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Don Carbonaccio is cooking up plays like there's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the championship game. Let's get this crypto. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to all my VIPs that I've been keeping up to date with all of my trades, plans, and strategies. And shout out to all my new future VIPs joining right now after this video. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. Let's get this crypto. The altcoin market for me right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about a strategy now, okay? As we wrap things up here. The strategy that I'm seeing for things like the altcoin market, and I briefly touched on this earlier, but now that we've kind of, got the whole picture outlined here, I want to go back to this here, okay? So we saw this in Bitcoin as well with the, whatever you want to call it, the fat finger, Kirby, the fat finger, that we had a drop of 25% in the market, right? So on things like this, when you're trading with leverage or margin, right, or tight stop losses, etc., what winds up happening here is that there's a lot of liquidation and stop outs, and then you're constantly being put back in a situation where you need to re-enter. And a lot of times what happens is that the parabola takes back off without you securing your position again, right? And what winds up happening is that a lot of leveraged traders wind up missing a lot of the parabolic moves because of the fact that they're constantly going in and out, being liquidated or getting their stops hit. But the whole trend as a whole is still bullish, right? Like if we look at this from a realistic perspective, right? We had a higher high, a new low come in. This would not have to have been the end of the trend, right? Then we rip again, sells off, and we create a higher low, right? That's not necessarily the end of a trend at all. In fact, that looks very bullish. And the fact is here is that you would have got liquidated and or stopped out on this ride down. You would have got liquidated or stopped out on this ride down again. And then you would have missed this whole move to the upside unless you took more positions that you would have had to have got into at a higher spot, right? And the fact is here is that this is why I'm starting to now look for opportunities to dollar cost average into a more like a holding portfolio. I do this in bull trends, all right? And with where I'm seeing this now, we very much so look like we may be able to maintain bullish structure, at least for the short term. Of course, this is all subject to change. If we break bullish structure and go back into a bearish structure, then I'm done with that, right? I'm going to change again. But just for example, back in the parabolic trend, right? 2017, 2016, my strategy here with the altcoins and Bitcoin was to be buying dips, dollar cost averaging, and hodling a select portion of my portfolio, right? So in these times, in bull markets, I have two portfolios. One is a holding portfolio that I'm buying dips and accumulating a position that I'm not looking to get stopped out on and get re-entered on, right? I'd ideally like to just hold and buy dips so that if the parabolic moves happen, I'm not in and out all the time. I'm going to catch the parabolic swing instead of worrying about the swings up and down where I just keep accumulating, believing in the fact that the bull structure is going to be maintained and that my dip buying is going to pay off in the long run, right? And then on the contrary, I have a second portfolio, if you want to call it a portfolio, a second basket, if you will, of capital that I use purely for swing trading. And in a bear market, I only swing trade, right? Because I short as well, right? So all for the past several months has been swing trading for me. I have not had the hodl bag, if you will, or the investment bag, the dollar cost average bag, because of the fact that it would have just been way too much loss here. I'm not willing to dollar cost average down into a trend of 80% or 90% losses. That's just not, in my opinion, something that a winning trader would do. But now that we are starting to see the signs here of a confirmed bull market for Bitcoin and the altcoins, I am going to be looking for dip buying and dollar cost averaging opportunities here, as well as if the trend is going to actually stay bullish and intact with a bullish thesis. I want to be buying dips here for a small portion, right? It can be whatever it is. If it looks like this trend is going to actually find bullish support, I'm probably going to allot more capital to the hodl type portfolio, right? Maybe less into the swing trade. Both, though, right? They're going to be separate. And I'm also going to be keeping my VIPs up to date with my dollar cost averaging entries here that I'm going to be keeping in that portfolio. And I'm also going to be swing trading long and short here as well. It's just the fact that, in my opinion, I mean, of course, you do whatever you want. It's tough for leverage traders here to miss moves when you get wicked out on things like this, right? Because the wicks here are inevitable. This is cryptocurrency. If we go back over here to Bitcoin, I just want you to be well aware, ladies and gentlemen, that in a bull market for Bitcoin, 30-40% drops are incredibly normal and to be expected. I know that new traders, new investors in this space won't understand it. They'll think we're going back into the bear market because we dropped 40%, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case, as you can see by all of the times that I just outlined in the 2017 trend alone that this occurred. And trust me, these shake out a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people panic sell in these situations. But for me, for Don Carbonaccio, I understand what's going on here. And the fact is that if I see that the bullish macro structure is still intact, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to potentially be buying these dips on altcoins and Bitcoin, but mainly altcoins that I see potentially are undervalued, and that I'm going to be looking to increase my long-term position to not get shaken out of these drops here, not get shaken out or liquidated, right, or my stop loss hit on these, but rather to buy, accumulate, dollar cost average with a strategy implemented. Of course, risk management is very important. I'm not just going to hodl till zero, get out of here. There's risk management involved here, and there's also the risk reward factor that I want to be a part of the parabolic moves if they continue to happen. And that's not going to happen for me if I'm in leverage positions getting stopped out all the time. So I just wanted to make this clear that I am going to have two separate types of capital reserves here, right? One for a hodl / investment / longer term portfolio, and two, another separate allocation of capital purely for swing trading. As you guys all know, that is what I prefer to do here in this market. And right now, I'm also going to keep my VIPs updated with both. So I'm going to be looking for opportunities here, playing the bullish macro structure with a dollar cost averaging strategy on altcoins and Bitcoin. So I'll keep you guys updated with all of my entries on that, and also with my swing trading, right? The ins and outs, playing the ups and downs of this market, leverage if you're into that, for potentially life-changing gains in a small amount of time, right? Whereas the dollar cost averaging strategy is a more longer term approach, playing off the fact that you believe a macro bull trend is intact and that the bulls are going to continue to push the market higher, even if we do get a sharp sell-off over and over again, right? So I just wanted to keep you guys updated there, as I have not had the other allocation here that I've been talking about with the dollar cost averaging all throughout the bear market, right? And if I did, I would probably be down substantially. I mean, until very, very recently, right? But the fact of the matter is, guys, is that, yeah, times are changing in this market. As a trader, as somebody that's looking to crush this market, I have to adapt to the environment, right? And right now, my strategies are beginning to pick up a pace like you would not believe. So I'm excited here for what this market has to offer. I'm excited to keep you all up to date in VIP with all of my strategies, plans, entries, exits, trades, etc., all in real time, exclusively for you in VIP. Shout out to all my VIPs and all my new future VIPs joining right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. The opportunities in this market right now are endless, in my opinion, and I'm looking to crush it like an absolute savage right now, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are watching these charts, don't be looking to miss opportunity right now, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much potential here. I'm going to look to take advantage of all of it, and I will be keeping you updated in VIP as I do take advantage of it. Let's get this crypto. Guys, if you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. It's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing all of you in VIP right now. Like I said, I am planning and strategizing for this next move right here, right now. I'm going to be looking for dollar cost averaging opportunities that I'm getting into, and I'm going to be looking for more swing trade opportunities like this that you see right here. Guys, so much opportunity. Let's crush it. Let's get this crypto. I'll see all of my new future VIPs joining right now after this video. I will see you in VIP right now. And until next time, my friends, be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.